Uh, let's welcome in the management of Escorts Kubota now. They're with us on the back of the numbers which they reported. Subdued said for the second quarter. A weakness was seen in all three segments. Mr. Bharat Madan is whole-time director and chief financial officer at the company. Mr. Madan, good to have you with us here. Good morning, sir. We just spoke with the Mahindra management on the tractor business. They're saying healthy double-digit growth in the festive season. I wanted those numbers from you, sir, on tractors. What have you seen from the start of the Navratri period till the end of the festive season, as you define it? What has been growth this year compared to the last one?
Yeah, so festive season, Prashant, has really gone well. So obviously, September was more like a stocking month because the retail, everything got concentrated, all the festivals got concentrated in the month of October. So October saw more than 50% growth in the retail numbers. So obviously, this season so far, September, October combined has given high single double-digit growth, on the wholesale number as well as on retail number. But I think it will be important to also look at November because normally your season starts split into these 3 months. So if you do a comparison in the earlier period, so normally you look at September to November as combined festive season months. And we expect this combined season even this year should give double-digit growth, high double-digit growth. So it's a positive sign looking at the rural market now, the way it's growing.
High double-digit growth, September, November combined?
Yeah, September to November, which is the combined festive season period.
Okay.
And what would that mean, sir, in terms of a full year performance for you?
So full year, we expect, I think, industry, we're still maintaining our guidance of mid-single digit growth because the first half of the year was more or less flat for the industry. So we're banking on the double-digit growth to continue, in the second half of this year. And October has already seen, 20% plus growth. But now since the season period is over, so November may not be that, the strong growth visibility will be there. So it will be more like muted growth in November. So still we're expecting November to March will still be a double-digit growth number. So it will give you that sort of mid-single digit for this year.
Okay, all right. Hi, sir. Good morning. Good to see you, Ben. So on tractors itself, it appears that you're suggesting that you'll outgrow the industry. So what is your current market share, if you could help us out with that? And I recall in the past, you'll have been mentioning that you want to ramp up exports, post this merger that you all had done. Exports was one factor that you all said that, in the next few years, that will start looking up. I think you all were guiding for double digit. So where is it at and where is it headed?
So on domestic market, as you know, I think prior to merger, the Escorts was more concentrated in the northern and the central Indian belt. So the south and the western market were not very strong pockets for us. But unlike that, Kubota brand was more strong in the southern and western market. So the first 6 months really was down in those markets. So that's why the Kubota as a brand did not do well, in those pockets. So they actually had dropped market share. But now from October, the growth, they have outperformed the industry, in the month of October because the growth in South and West, especially Maharashtra, is very, very good. So they have grown more than 36% now, in the month of October. So we expect in the balance of year, the growth momentum will come back, especially in these pockets in South and West, where the rain dependence has been very high for irrigation. And this time the rainfall has been quite good and the water reserve is also very good. So we hope in the next 6 months, I think Kubota brand will also make up for the shortfall. And overall, we expect this year, normally we should be in a combined market share should be about 12.5% price for the domestic market.
12.5%, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And what about the plan to ramp up the exports? That as well was a big plan, right? When you all did this merger, you all said that this is likely to scale up. In the near term, I think there are some headwinds in the export market. But what is it at? And give us a trajectory. In the next few years, how does that number ramp up?
So our dependence on initially right now was more on the European market for export. 60% of exports were happening to the European market, which have gone under restriction this year. So last few quarters, we are not seeing major growth happening there. So a lot of channel correction is happening, on the inventory side, the dealerships over there. But this year, the first half, we've done good in the markets of Africa, Asia, and, South America compared to the industry. And their numbers have started doing well. So we expect, I think the growth will start coming in from fourth quarter this year when the export numbers, because our overall growth trajectory for export is still maintained, and we intend to gradually open the markets in Mexico and again Southeast Asia, to the end of this year and beginning of next year. And gradually we intend to move to North American market, which will be once we set up our greenfield facility. So our product portfolio will get expanded. So I think overall long term, I would say export remains a focus area for us. Because Kubota is banking on India for global sourcing for the requirement for these products.
All right. So you want to give a percentage of the listed entity. What will the mix look like? Percentage coming in from the export market?
So right now it's quite small. It's 5 to 6% only revenue comes from export. But in the next 4 to 5 years, we expect this should go up to 15 to 20%. And
15 to 20%.
Basically a combination of both finished product as well as on the component sourcing that Kubota will do from India.
Oh, got it. All right. So the other point is you've gone ahead and sold your railway business. Now, on that day itself, the stock market was disappointed. Your shareholders believe that you have sold it rather cheap. Could you tell us what were the parameters that went to this valuation that you sold this business at? And who were the other bidders?
Yeah, so we had approached more than 30 parties, potential buyers, and they were the who's who of the railways world, who were supplying to railways, both in India, globally, as well as some of the private equity players who invest into this segment. But the problem is, I think most of the multinationals who are catering to this segment are already present in India, and they have got a competing for a client. So for them, the value add from our existing portfolio is not very high. So we had to look at the alternate buyers who were totally new to this segment, and which is where Sona came in. So out of, I think, 34 odd bidders which we are looking at, about 18 had shown interest, and finally the 6 got shortlisted who submitted the non-binding offers. And we were able to proceed with the 2 and who were progressing well, and Sona appeared to be the highest bidder. So we followed the entire competitive process. So obviously the expectation for price was high even from our end initially when we started. But I think as we moved along and we came to know the complexity of the business, so finally we had to go with the highest bidder, which is Sona.
Okay, all right, Mr. Madan, we'll leave it there, sir. Thank you very much for joining us and running us through what you make of the business for you and for the industry as well. Wish you all the best of luck. Thank you. That's Escorts Kubota with perspective on the business.